Hello, my name is Misheard with Misheard Song Lyrics Podcast. We're going to be doing Season 2, Episode 97 today with my first ever Boys to Men misheard song lyric. The misheard song lyric is, "It's unnatural, you belong to me, I belong to you." And the correct lyrics is, "It's so natural, you belong to me, I belong to you." Okay, so recently I watched a new Netflix show called This Is Pop, which, as they state on their definition of the show, is it uncovers the real stories behind your favorite pop songs as this docuseries charts the impact of the festival scene, auto-tune, boy bands, and more. And boy, did they ever. So the first episode actually features Boys to Men and how they helped with crossover appeal from R&B to pop. So I decided to do this for this week's misheard song lyric. So let's do it. We're going to do the song End of the Road. And it's a song, of course, by American R&B group Boys to Men. I know, so I can't do it without doing that. For the 1992 Eddie Murphy movie Boomerang soundtrack. Remember that? 92. Wow, that's 29 years ago. It was released in 92 and written by Kenneth Babyface Edmonds, Antonio L.A. Reid, and Daryl Simmons. And the cool thing is when you watch it on Netflix, you get to see them as well as Babyface. And he's like in this like blue light, kind of in the dark, talking to in his sunglasses. So rock star. All right, Boys to Men, also known as B2M, is an American vocal harmony group from Philly, Pennsylvania, or Philadelphia. Best known for emotional ballads and a cappella harmonies. They're currently a trio. Before, they were a quartet, I guess, because there's four of them, composed of baritone Nathan Morris, alongside tenors Wanya Morris, Sean Stockman. And during the 1990s, Boyz II Men found fame on Motown Records as a quartet, including bass Michael McCary. He actually left the group back in 2003 due to multiple sclerosis, according to the internet. Interesting thing, though, when you watch this recent episode 1 of this Netflix This Is Pop, the Netflix docuseries actually shows that once their popularity was declining, bass Michael McCary actually left to want to pursue his career as an accountant. And that's what Wanya and everyone's saying. So difference in opinions there compared to what the internet's saying, and then, coming from the horse's mouth from Boyz II Men. So during the 1990s, Boyz II Men gained international success. This began with the release of top 5 singles, including Motown Philly, back again, and It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday in 1991, and then followed by the number 1 single, End of the Road, in 1992, which is what we're doing the misheard song lyric about. It is first, did you know, the End of the Road set a new record for longevity, staying at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 13 weeks. I had no idea about that. Almost 3 months, or a little bit over 3 months. Boyz II Men proceeded to break this record with subsequent releases, I'll Make Love to You and One Sweet Day with a very young Mariah Carey, which at 14 and 16 weeks respectively each set new records for the total number of weeks at number 1. I'll Make Love to You also topped the charts in Australia for 4 weeks and had lots of international success. So Boyz II Men is what they consider the music industry's elite with regard to time spent at number 1 in the Billboard history, with 50 accumulated weeks, ranking 6 behind Drake. I'm like, Drake? Really? I had no idea. For sure the Beatles, Rihanna, Elvis Presley, and of course herself, Miss Mariah Carey. The second did you know is when On Bended Knee took the number 1 spot from I'll Make Love to You, Boyz II Men became only the 3rd artist ever after the Beatles and Elvis Presley to replace themselves at the top of the Billboard Hot 100. So, I mean, not so bad. If you're hitting 100 or top 100, you're on the top and you get pushed or toppled over by your own self. Okay, not so bad. These achievements were enough to earn Boyz II Men a recognition as Billboard magazine's biggest boy band during the period of 1987 to 2012. And then they also received 4 Grammy Awards, and we'll go into that in just a bit. Boyz II Men continued to perform worldwide now as a trio because, like I said, Mr. Michael McCrary, I'm hoping he's an accountant, hopefully he got his dream come true. So just the three of them now, and they're still doing quite well. Their most recent studio album, Under the Streetlight, was released in 2017. And in June of 2017, a section of Broad Street, so that's for those of you that know the area in Philly, from Christian to Carpenter Streets in Philly was renamed Boyz II Men Boulevard. I love it. This section of the street is near the High School for the Creative and Performing Arts where the members once attended. And when you watch This Is Pop, the docuseries Netflix, they talk about like it's almost like Fame, the movie, the TV show, the movie where people are dancing, singing, and so forth. And interesting, some of the comments were like, they like to sing. One wanted to be a football player, so this kind of wasn't their jam, but fate would happen. So let's learn about how Boyz II Men started. It's from 1985 and so on. So this group originally was actually called Unique Attraction. That was their original name. And it was started by friends Nathan Morris and Mark Nelson at the Philadelphia High School for the Creative and Performing Arts, or CAPA is what they like to call it, along with fellow schoolmates George Baldy, John Schultz, and Marguerite Walker in 1985. So there's some names that were not even part of what we know today. So interesting. Then in 1987, Wanya Morris, who sang in the school's choir along with the members of Unique Attraction, joined the group and became a permanent member when he was only a freshman. In 1988, Baldy, Schultz, and Walker all left the group due to graduation. They're like, hey, peace out, I'm graduating. Then they recruited Sean Stockman after seeing him perform a solo in the school's choir. And then one day, Nate, Mark, Wanya, and Sean were practicing harmonies in a school bathroom, and in walked Michael McCrary, future accountant, started singing along with the group and eventually became the group's new bass singer. And then with the permanent lineup of members, the group rehearsed in the high school's bathrooms due to the excellent acoustics and on the corners of their schools and local hangouts. How they got their name. So how did they become Boyz II Men? So they found inspiration in their idols' New Edition's harmonies, remember, with the young Bobby Brown and so forth, and routines, and eventually renamed their group Boyz II Men after one of New Edition's singles, Boyz II Men, but spelled T-O instead of the 2, from their 1988 album, Heartbreak. So this is going to be foreboding of how they're going to hit their break. So put a pin on that. And then after performing at a Valentine's Day party at school in 1989, they got their big break when they snuck into a concert put on by a local radio station, Power 99, at the Philadelphia Civic Center. This is where fate's going to happen, luck and fate. Their plan was to find Will Smith, all right, getting jiggy with it, backstage and perform for him. But while looking for Smith, they actually happened to cross paths with none other than their mentor, New Edition member Michael Bivins, along with other fellow group mates, Ricky Bell and Mike, because they had just announced they were doing a spin-off of New Edition called Bell Biv DeVoe, because remember, Bobby Brown had started to do his own thing. After they sang New Edition's Can You Stand the Rain for him, Bivins and everyone in attendance, including other celebrities, were impressed. Bivins then gave the group his number and told them to give him a call, and then Nate eventually called him and he agreed to manage and help produce the group. So when you watch the show on Netflix, you get to hear Bivins' side of the story. I didn't even know he was their manager, so this was a big aha for me. The delay before recording their own material and reported personal conflicts led founding member Mark Nelson to leave the group. Ooh, Mark Nelson, what were you thinking? You're at the precipice of hitting it big, but maybe if he was on it, maybe they wouldn't. So you just never know. Making Boyz II Men into a quartet now that found international fame. And then, like I said, the four were Michael McCrary, Nathan Morris, Wanya Morris, and Sean Stockman. Wow. Okay, so how did the song do? Well, End of the Road, like I said, achieved lots of domestic and international success. Also considered one of the most successful songs of all time. And in the U.S., End of the Road spent, like I said, a record-breaking 13 weeks at #1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, a record broken later in the year by Whitney Houston's 14-week #1 hit, I Will Always Love You. Remember, a Dolly Parton written, she covered that. So Boyz II Men would later match Houston's records with I'll Make Love to You, which spent 14 weeks at #1 in 1994, and then reclaimed the record with One Sweet Day with a duet with, like I said, a young Mariah Carey, which spent 16 weeks, 4 months, at #1 from 1995 to 1996. And then End of the Road was the number one single in 1992 on the Billboard year-end Hot 100 singles of that same year. It ranked by Billboard as the sixth most successful song of the decade from 1990 to 1999. It also ranked at number 55 on Billboard's all-time top 100 songs. And internationally, it didn't do so bad itself. End of the Road reached number one in Australia, the UK, and the Hot 100 Euro chart. And then End of the Road had been certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, or I like to say RIAA, for shipments of over 1 million units in the US. Remember, kids, people bought and had to go. They didn't download. They had to go to the store. They had to drive, skateboard, walk, take the bus to buy that. So amazing. And then how did it do at the 1993 Grammys? It won 2 Grammys. First of all, it won Best R&B, Rhythm and Blues Song. And they're actually up against some heavy hitters to win that back in 1993. Here are the fellow nominees that they won that from. Dallas Austin and Lisa Left Eye Lopez from, that song Ain't Too Proud to Beg from TLC. So that was one nominee they were up against. Also Hal Davis, Berry Gordy, Willie Hutch, and Bob West for I'll Be There with Mariah Carey. So they beat out Mariah Carey. They beat out Michael Jackson, Renee Moore, Bruce Sweden, and Teddy Riley for Jam, Michael Jackson. And they also beat out Thomas McElroy and Denzel Foster for My Lovin'. You never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never get it, and Vogue. So heavy hitters. That same year in the 1993 Grammys, they also won Best R&B Performance by a duo or group with vocals, obviously because of their amazing tight harmonies. Here against their nominees, they were up against Arrested Development, remember them, for People Every Day, Mariah Carey and Trey Lawrence for I'll Be There. They're also against En Vogue again for Funky Divas, and then, Luther Vandross and Janet Jackson for The Best Things in Life for Free. So did very well. And please watch that docuseries. It's great. It shows their highs and lows, and highs again, where they reinvented themselves as, these wonderful acts at Las Vegas with a residency. And if you have any great suggestions like this, please send them to my email at misheardsongs. That's MISSHEARD songs@gmail.com. Send it via a message in our social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Also, don't forget, I have some of you, and I thank you for those who know who you are. If you want to be a Patreon member, go to patreon.com, look for Misheard Songs, and you'll find me. And if you want to pay $3 a month, you get some special deals. You pay $5 a month, you get, this episode a couple days earlier because we drop every Wednesday. I think $10 a month for Unicorn Patreon members. You also get my crazy looking mug on YouTube link, because I do send you a link of what we look like, or what I look like when I'm videotaping this, as well as recording this, as well as the episode a couple days early. So please check me out. And I appreciate all you listening. And thanks again for Boyz II Men. So keep singing those songs wrong. Bye.